Some popular painting styles are Expressionism, Impressionism, Post-Impressionism, Realism, Photorealism, Cubism, Fresco, Gouache, Miniature Painting, Tempera, Surrealism, Computer Art, Abstract, Action Painting, Painterly, Pop Art, Underpainting, Baroque, Encaustic, Romanticism, and Grisaille. Paintings can be naturalistic, as in still life and landscape painting, representational, as in photographic, abstract, or narrative painting, symbolistic, as in symbolist art, emotive, as in expressionism, or political in nature, as in artivism. Paintings can also be classified based on genre, like landscape, portrait, still life, etc. Style, like Renaissance, Impressionism, etc. Medium, like oil, acrylic, watercolor, etc. Technique, like plein air, chiaroscuro, etc. And purpose, like decorative, commissioned, or religious, etc. Today we are talking about Expressionism. Expressionism, artistic style in which the artist seeks to depict not objective reality, but rather the subjective emotions and responses that objects and events arouse within a person. Expressionist art refers to the expression of subjective emotions, inner experiences, and spiritual themes, as opposed to realistic depictions of people of nature. Expressionism was an art movement, an international tendency at the beginning of the 20th century. The aim of expressionist artists was to express emotional experience rather than physical reality. They strove to convey their inner emotions and thoughts via their works, frequently using distorted forms, vibrant colors, and vigorous brushstrokes to establish their own visual language. Van Gogh is the artist who almost single-handedly brought a greater sense of emotional depth to painting. In that way, he can truly be called the father of Expressionism. Expressionism art techniques are the use of vivid colors, exaggerated forms, and gestural brushstrokes to evoke intense emotions rather than realistic representations. Expressionist artists used more muted tones and muddier colors in their paint palettes. They used colors like brick reds, navies, swampy greens, and kept those bright colors like yellow or blues for contrast. Expressionism was profoundly influenced by the First World War as artists sought to communicate their feelings about the violence and destruction around them. Expressionism started in 1905 and lasted till approximately 1920. The style originated principally in Germany and Austria. Expressionism first emerged in 1905 when a group of 4 German students guided by Ernst Ludwig Kenner founded the Die Brücke, the Bridge Group, in the city of Dresden. This was arguably the founding organization for the German Expressionist movement, though they did not use the word itself. A few years later, in 1911, a like-minded group of young artists formed Der Blaue Reiter, the Blue Rider, in Munich. The pioneers of Expressionism included painters such as Paul Gauguin, Vincent van Gogh, and Edvard Munch, who interpreted reality more than they depicted it realistically. Some iconic paintings and their artists of Expressionism are The Scream by Edvard Munch, The Blue Rider by Vasily Kandinsky, The Desert Harmony in Red by Henri Matisse, Dance Around the Golden Calf by Emile Nolde, The Large Blue Horses by Franz Marc, Self-Portrait with Chinese Lantern Plant by Egon Schiele, Street Berlin by Ernst Ludwig Kenner, The Night by Max Beckmann, Dr. Rosa Scaffire by Carl Smith Rotloff, Reclining Nude by Amedeo Modigliani, Portrait of a Man by Erich Heckel, Castle and Sun by Paul Ning, The Scream painting by Edvard Munch that became his most famous work. The Scream is one of the most familiar images in modern art and a canonical piece in the Art Nouveau style. It stemmed from a panic attack that Munch suffered in 1892, which he recounted artistically in a sketch from that year that he called Despair. He described how this psychologically fraught episode occurred as He was strolling along a path outside Christiania, now Oslo. The sun was setting and the clouds turned as red as blood. He sensed a scream passing through nature. He felt as though he could actually hear the scream. He accentuated this effect by showing that his two companions, who were seen walking away, were unscathed, thus implying that the trauma came from his own mind rather than the world outside. It is conjectured that the central figure in the painting is modeled on an Inca mummy that Munch saw in a Parisian museum while visiting the World's Fair then in 1889. Whatever the case, on a copy of the picture, Munch wrote, could only have been painted by a madman.